Hello guys, it's Tina Wilfred here. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Depending on where you're watching this video from, this is going to be more like a trade breakdown on my very most recent trade. Recently, after my big win on GBPJPY, the trade that I used to recover my losses, I did the video on that. You can check the previous video on my trade breakdown playlist to see that. After that particular win, I have just succeeded in taking another loss. I've succeeded in taking about up to 2 losses since then. I think, yeah, 2 losses. I need to confirm for my journal. After the win, I have just taken 2 losses. Exactly, it's just 2 losses. I've taken 2 losses after that particular win, and I want to actually talk about the reason for that loss. Just like we say, for every loss or for every win, you want to go and check the reason behind it. So the same way you review your losses, you review your wins. The same way you review your wins, you review your losses. And that is what gives you feedback on exactly what you're doing. Because for me to take a loss, that means there is a mistake somewhere that I need to refer back to and possibly find a way to correct that mistake. So I took the loss trying to counter trend. I was trying to counter trade basically. So that's how I took that loss. Ordinarily, I'm not supposed to be counter trading, but the problem here is that this is the one pair that I trade. I don't get to trade other pairs. I'm just on GJ. So the truth is that because that's the only pair I am trading currently, I try to maximize every move on it. I tried as much as I can to maximize every move on GJ. Okay, and sometimes it has to involve counter trading basically. So on trying to counter trade, I actually encountered 2 losses in the process, but my risks are properly managed. There's proper risk management. So I want to talk about these 2 losses. So first of all, considering the structure, the last video that I did in the advanced playlist was me talking about structure, and the problem with this particular lot is also a misreading of my structure. I actually misread my structure, and that is the reason for the losses that I took, which is the reason why I said something like, if you do not understand structure, the problem is still there. But when you understand structure as a trader, you have actually solved 50% of your problem. That is the truth. And the truth is that even if you're a profitable trader, there are definitely going to be times when you will make mistakes reading your structure. You just cannot be able to know everything. It's impossible, really. It's impossible. So I actually misread my structure. This is a proper break of structure here. I actually bought from this level, as explained in the previous video, to this very level. This is the external range liquidity, and the price kept buying up to show that the bullish move is really there. The momentum is really there for the bullish move. Okay, and as usual, we know that price would always revisit break of structures. It will always retest break of structures. On the flip side, it always retest resistance, because this can also be seen as a resistance. All right, there's a resistance around here. So price always tends to revisit resistance, always tries to resist. It always tends to revisit break of structures, and when price does that, you can say that price action is efficient at that point, because in equilibrium pricing, the ability of price to come back into the demand zone, you can call it an efficient price action. Now, the mistake there is that there is something called efficient price action 1 and efficient price action 2. Now, the efficient price action 1 involves price pulling back completely into the demand zone. If price pulls back completely into this demand zone, and then the efficient price action 2 involves incomplete pullback. Sometimes price can just revisit that demand or revisit that break of structure, but it didn't come in deep. It was not a deep pullback. Okay, it didn't come. It just tapped in and then left. And in most cases, for you to actually identify that efficient price action, you probably need your lower time frame to confirm it. Okay, just like some break of structures, some break of structures can happen in the lower time frame, but on the higher time frame, you cannot see that break of structure, and that was exactly where the mistake is coming from. So let me dive into it properly. when I finished taking that buy trade, I wanted to sell down to this particular place to continue my buy. I wanted to sell down to the demand zone to continue the buys. Okay, and while I was selling down, I did not pay attention to the fact that this place could have actually been revisited, so which made price to react from this level instead of coming into this place again. Okay, and then I'm going to be going down to the lower time frame for us to check if actually price revisited this very level. I'll be going to the 15 minutes time frame to check if price revisited that very level. These are some of the mistakes that if you don't pay attention to it, it keeps costing you. I had to go back to review this particular trade that I took to be sure that yes, I needed to be very sure that yes, this loss that I took was not. So now, this is that particular break of structure. As you can see, I had to mark it so it will be easy for us to find. I had to mark it before coming down to this lower time frame. And then when you come back to this lower time frame, you can see that price actually has revisited it. From the lower time frame, you see that there was a proper break of structure here, okay, and the price even broke with the full body of the candle. I am very sure that this is clear. I want to believe that this is very clear. Price broke structure with the full body. Remember, I said that a valid break of structure has to break with the full body, not a weak. As price broke this place, look at it, it actually came back into it. If anybody had placed their order in this FVG here, that person would have just been on the buy trade that moved, but I did not see it because I am more of a higher time frame trader. So if I come down to the lower time frame, then I'm coming back probably for confirmation, or maybe trying to trade reversal, trying to counter trade really. Yes, if I want to trade reversal, maybe I'm trying to sell down to a demand. That's when you see me on the lower time frame. I don't usually come here. The lowest I even get to is the 1 hour time frame. So you can see that price action here is already efficient, which explains why price did not bother coming back into this level again. And if you notice, I am expecting price to come back there because I actually marked it out. I marked it. I was expecting price. Look at it. I marked it for a long time now, expecting price to come into it because I'm on the lower time frame. I'm expecting price to come into it. Price did not come back into it immediately because from the lower time frame, it already revisited this level with an incomplete pullback. That is efficient price action too. All right. The truth is that it can still decide to come back. It can still decide to come back since it has not played out on the higher time frame. Price can still decide to come back, but not at the exact time where I'm expecting it to happen. So in a bid to actually sell down to this particular level, that was where the mistake started from. Like I said, that was where the mistake started from, and I had to tune down to the lower time frame to see if I can find entry. The first mistake started when I saw this engulfing bar here. There's an engulfing bar here on the 4 hour. So the moment I saw it, this is the engulfing bar. The moment I saw this engulfing bar, I felt like, okay, I wanted to be an early entry for the sell because my sell predictions are usually very accurate for the most part. But it's been really hard taking advantage of my sell trades, unlike the way I take advantage of my buy trade. I went down to the 15 minutes time frame because I wanted to get a proper entry for the sell. Since I'm already expecting a sell reversal, okay. I have to go back to the 15 minutes time frame to check it out. This was the level that I took that loss. This is the level where the break of structure is. So what I was having in mind that made me to trade that was a failure swing. Okay, price did not break above this level. For price not to break above this level you are seeing here, price didn't break above this very level here. Since price did not break above this very level, I felt like, okay, that means we might just be having a little trend reversal. Okay, now the mistake that I made was that when you're trying to trade a failure swing, when price finds it hard, when price fails to take out a particular high or low, if you're trying to trade a failure swing, you need to have a confirmation break. I saw price break this particular low. I needed a second break to validate it, but I could not wait for that second break. It's not as if I didn't know. I just could not wait. I felt like price would still do it anyway. So I placed my order here. Then price came and took me out. See, I placed my order here. Doesn't even look like a valid break of structure, doesn't even look like a valid supply, and I just took that sell because I was so sure that I needed price to come down to that break of structure on the higher time frame. That was how I took that loss. Okay, but price went ahead, took me out and broke another structure. And when it broke another structure, after I had taken that loss, I should have just known that something is wrong somewhere. This particular sell that I'm trying to take is not really, because once the way I trade, if I take a loss once, I already know that I'm wrong. Okay, but then the trader in me that still wants to do something will probably tell me, no, take extra one, take extra one. And that was how I took the extra one and I still lost again. I still lost again. Okay, so when price broke this particular structure here, okay, it broke this structure here and swept me out. I saw price now sell down and I was like, oh wow, I actually took a loss waiting for price here, right? I took a loss waiting for price within the zone and price eventually sold. For it to sell, it simply means that maybe the sell predictions are right. Price reacted from this very level. You can see where it reacted from, this particular level. Let me bring it closer. Price didn't even come properly into the other block that you would have wanted to trade from. It reacted from this level, and I don't know the reason why it reacted from there. I think it's an FVG, and people that trade FVG will be the ones that most likely catch that trade there. So price reacted from there, and then one mistake that I made before taking that second sell entry was that I didn't realize that there was a break of structure here. Okay, I didn't realize there was a break of structure here because I was looking at it from the higher time frame, and from the higher time frame, it was a sweep, which was more like an exhaustion in momentum. And one of the signs of trend reversal is when you see exhaustion in momentum. So it can come as a sweep, it can come as a rejection, whatever it is you know it as. Secondly, it can be expansion. Thirdly, it can be failure swing. So the first sell I took was me trying to use failure swing, that I did not even wait for a proper confirmation. I just wanted to use failure swing to sell down, but I mistakenly did not pay attention to the fact that it was not even a complete failure swing yet. Okay, and then the second sell that I wanted to use was exhaustion in momentum, and the exhaustion actually happened on the 4-hour. However, it broke a proper structure on the 15 minutes. Because there's a break of structure here, obviously price would come to react to any unmitigated level, which was what it did. Price reacted from this unmitigated level. Meanwhile, I was busy trying to sell. You can see my position too. Price came to this very unmitigated level here. There's another block here. Price came to this level and then reacted. While I was still busy on my sell, price was busy selling, trying to buy. Okay, price was busy trying to buy, and yeah, that was it. It bought and took me out. Now the truth is that the sell that I'm actually looking for, let me show you the 4-hour time frame so that you know that it wasn't my fault somehow, because as a higher time frame trader, I'm judging my move from the higher time frame. So you see that there was a sweep here. This is the level, right? Let me expand. So you see that from that break there, it happened as a break of structure there, but it was a sweep on my own level. It was a sweep. And for it to be a sweep, the sell that I was trying to go for was actually valid. But however, on the lower time frame, you can see that there was no sweep. It was a proper break of structure. I'm bringing you back here just for us to reconfirm that. Look, it was a proper break of structure. Okay, you can see that it broke with the body of the candle, so the buy was valid considering the lower time frame. Okay, but on the higher time frame, the sell looked more valid, and the truth is that we are still long overdue for a sell. But the problem now is that I don't know when the sell is going to happen. Why I said that is that looking at the weekly time frame, we have another block there that reflects on the daily and on the 4-hour as well. Okay, this is our weekly time frame. So we have this engulfing bar here, which is a gap for price to fill. This engulfing bar here is like a break of structure as well. That is the same break of structure that we are talking about on the 4-hour here. So price will most likely, I've already marked this level. This is the place I'm expecting price to come back into. That was one of the reasons why I was also bent on that sell, because I know that price is due for a sell. Okay, on the daily time frame, you see it very much clear. See it very much clear again. on the daily time frame. All right, this is the level, the same level too. There's a break of structure, there's a daily breakout here. So we are expecting price to at least pull back again, okay, into this level. At least there's an unmitigated order block here. Already price action can be said to be efficient, but then there's a break of structure. It's sorry, there's an order block here that needs to be filled, okay, but price is yet to come back to it, and we don't know how far it would be going. Now we have another break of structure again now on the daily time frame. So obviously we have to keep working with the recent structure. We have to keep working with what? We have to keep working with the recent structure. Okay, so for now, being that on the 4-hour time frame, like I said, right on the 4-hour time frame here, it looked as if price action was not efficient. Remember, efficient price. Okay, we'll talk about efficient price action and inefficient price action. I've been talking all the while as if we've talked about it on this channel. We have not. The truth is that we'll still talk about it. But for the course of this explanation, of course, I needed to include that. So price action does not look quite efficient here, but on the 15 minutes that I showed you earlier, it is actually efficient, which is the reason price will most likely not come back to this level again. So for now, we'll be riding with the most recent structure. We already have another break of structure here. Price behaving as if it wants to sell now, but I know that even if there is a pullback, maybe it will be around this current break. Okay, because this break reflects even on the daily time frame. So I don't know the chances of price coming back to this level. I don't know the chances of price coming back to this level. And that was how I mistakenly took a sell that I was not supposed to take. Is it a mistake? It was actually intentional because, of course, I had things that I was looking out for, which is also valid in its way. But I found out one of the lessons that I've learned from this is confirming my moves on the higher time frame with the lower time frame. The same way we confirm the moves on the lower time frame with higher time frame. The price, the lower time frame delivers price to the higher time frame. So you need the higher time frame direction for you to be able to trade the lower time frame, and that is the same way that things you do on the higher time frame that you need to confirm in the lower time frame for it to be valid before you take action. So that is one of the lessons that I would say that this particular trade taught me. The idea is not to make profit in every trade that you take. The idea behind it is actually to learn and keep getting better. Okay, so in my trading journey, I am more process oriented. It's not about being result oriented. It's not about being goal oriented. I am process oriented 100%. Okay, as much as it feels good to actually have wins, it's actually also okay to accept the losses and actually learn from those losses. All right, so I've paid attention more. I've always known about efficient and inefficient price action, but paying attention to it again for the second time, I found out that sometimes the things that we call inefficient price actions are actually efficient when you go back to the lower time frame to confirm it, just like what we have here. And then some break of structures or some break of structures that you may think does not show on the higher time frame. If you go back to the lower time frame, you'll be able to confirm that there was a proper break of structure. So from now henceforth, anytime I see something like on a sweep on the higher time frame, I will try and go back to the lower time frame to confirm if it was actually a sweep before I would say, oh, there is going to be a possible trend reversal. So that's like the two things I've learned from the two losses that I have taken trying to counter trade. And I'm also trying to see if I can come to a decision not to counter trade at all, because ever since I started doing it, it hasn't been so favorable. Yes, the sell predictions can be right, but one or two things might happen. Either the price takes me out, just like this particular sell here. The sell was projected and it happened. The first sell was projected and it happened. The second sell was around this zone, but price took me out before this particular sell out here. Okay, and that's how my sales always come off. One thing or the other, it can also be a missed entry, just like the one here. I recorded all of these things. The one here, I had a missed entry. Now you see the massive sellout that happened. There was a massive sellout here, but I missed this particular move. So my sell trades always have a way of dealing with me, and now I don't know. I think I'm already at the verge of taking a decision that I will no longer be taking sell trades except if that trend is bearish and we can know, like, we are very sure that we are on a bearish trend. But say we are on a bullish trend and I'm trying to counter trade to be able to trade to a demand zone, like more like to sell to buy. maybe I think I have to filter that out as well and put it in my plan as something that I'm going to honor. Okay, because it hasn't been favorable. If only I did not try counter trading, I wouldn't have taken these unnecessary 2 losses after my win. Okay, but then from my trading strategy, it doesn't matter the amount of losses that I take. I work more with a higher risk to reward ratio. I don't really pay attention to win rate. Why? Because even if I take 5 losses at a row, okay, in a row, the truth is that one trade has a way of clearing up those losses and still bringing me floating back in profit. That is how my own trading strategy works. Okay, this trade now is okay. The first sell was 10 risk to reward ratio, and this one is 6 to risk to reward ratio. So if I take a loss, my strategy is in such a way that it has a way of bringing me back in profit. So that is the thing there. Well, I think this should be the end of this video. As it stands, I'm looking towards taking a break to see exactly what price wants to do before the next line of action. So I thought I should share this because if anybody takes time to watch this video, then that person will possibly benefit from the lessons and the person does not have to repeat the same mistake, because I mean, you've learned from me. So right after recording the video, I opened my chart again and found out that we had the massive sellout we were waiting for, but guess price didn't just want to tag me along. All right. Thank you very much for sticking by. If I thought you watched to this very point, please don't forget to subscribe to this channel, like, share, comment, and I'll see you on the next one.